And what's up, race fans? Welcome back to another episode of Historic Hot Laps. I'm your host, Alex Daniels. We're going to dive headfirst into the whirlwind week of IndyCar news. The offseason just turned into a full-throttle sprint. Who's jumping ship? Who's switching teams? Who's chasing F1? Let's hit the track and talk about it. So number one thing, we've got Colton Herta heads to Formula 1 and Formula 2, technically. Colton Herta, after 8 thrilling IndyCar seasons capped by 9 wins, he's swapping the road course for the feeder series. Yep, Herta will race in Formula 2 in 2026 and serve as a test and development driver for Cadillac and their new F1 team. He's chasing those super license points, and this is a bold move. It's very gutsy of him choosing F2 over a sure seat in IndyCar. We all know he was the highest paid driver last year in IndyCar just based on contracts. That sacrifice with some style to it, if he makes it, he could be the American F1 breakthrough we've been craving. This moves us over to Will Power and the long Penske era that's now ending. So next, say goodbye to an era after 17 seasons and a trophy wall that would impress even the most vintage collector. Will Power is officially stepping away from Penske, 2-time champion, Indy 500 winner, record holder for poles. He's leaving behind some legendary footprints. With all of that, change is brutal and beautiful. Penske without power is like apples without gravity, but evolution demands it. We're about to see a new chapter unfold. Power isn't retiring, though. He's jumping to Andretti Global in 2026, taking over the Colton Herta seat in that number 26 Honda. That's some pretty solid momentum. Perfect fit. He brings the experience, the intensity. Andretti's got its trio solidified now. We've got Power, Kirkwood, and Ericsson for next year's lineup. And that's a lineup that could hunt for some championships, which is a super smart move by everybody on that team to set that up. So Colton's out, going to Formula 2. Will Power's taking that seat. The other thing we're going to talk about is Rinus VeeKay announced that he is splitting with Dale Coyne Racing after just one season. He thanked Coyne for the most enjoyable year of his career. He ended the season 14th in points with a highlight second place in Toronto. This feels much like musical chairs in the preseason. VeeKay's talent deserves more than competitive ride than Coyne can offer. At the time, the second place Thunderbolt shows that he's hungry. Keep your eyes peeled for the next station. It could be quite a game changer for that. So where does this leave the grid? Hot rumors say that Malukas is poised to step into Power's boots. We've talked about that in the past. Meanwhile, Hager, fresh from the Indy NXT title, he might be lining up to drive VeeKay's seat at Coyne with Andretti Global, whispering support there. This is sillier than the season used to be. You got some young guns riding the wave from Hager to Malukas. IndyCar's youth infusion is definitely underway, and it's turning up the chat rooms, that's for sure. So real thing that we're thinking is going to happen, right? We talked about this several times, but Malukas has been in that Penske-supported number 4 car at AJ Foyt. He fills in the Power seat at the number 12. Power's already gone to the number 26. We know that. So that put VeeKay in the number 4 car for AJ Foyt Racing. Hard to say, but who else could it be that would be more competitive? We know that Penske's had VeeKay on the radar before. So there you go. IndyCar was quiet last week, and now it's a drag race of announcements. You've got Herta going to Formula 1, Power swapping teams, VeeKay's on the hunt. Maybe already signed. We don't know. Malukas and Hager waiting in the wings. It's all happening, and it's all happening now. So, and then there's an announcement that sometime this week we'll hear something on Prema and what they're doing. Are they going to align with another team? What's going to happen here? So let's jump over to another IndyCar piece of news. It's trading one of its cities, Roar, for another Buzz, with Markham, Ontario as the next stop on the grid starting in 2026. So here's a lowdown on what's happening and why this move could inject some new energy into the series. After nearly 40 years at Toronto's Exhibition Place, the Ontario Honda dealers Indy is relocating to the Markham Centre, a booming suburb just northeast of Toronto, starting August 14th, 2026. This isn't a one-off, it's part of a multi-year agreement. The move was triggered by scheduling roadblocks in Toronto as they'll be hosting the FIVA World Cup matches, making Exhibition Place unavailable for the race next year. The temporary street circuit will snake through Markham's downtown, bordered by Kennedy Road, Enterprise Boulevard, Unionville GO Tracks, and Highway 407. It's a sleek layout, 12 turns, about 2.19 miles or 3.52 kilometers long, plus double-sided pit lane, high-speed stretches, and technical sectors. Designed by track maestro Tony Kottman of NZR Consulting. The dual pit lanes are fun. They're rare. Only a couple of other street circuits like Detroit offered them. So why did they choose to go to Markham? Well, it's a high-growth, diverse city, metro population of 1.25 million. The location offers solid transit between Highway 407, major 400 series highways, Unionville Go, and Viva Rapid Transit, which is ideal for bringing in the big crowds. Organizers predict over 140,000 fans across the race weekend, making it potentially the largest sporting event in the York region's history, which would be awesome for local tourism and the economy. Moral of the story on this one, this isn't IndyCar taking a rain check. It's here's a brand new stage for an open wheel theater type of vibe. Having a hometown star like Hinchcliffe champion the event gives it a real heartbeat as well. He's the hometown hero, born in Markham. He's called this move extra special, saying Markham was my first home where my racing dreams took root. So that'll be fun. That'll be legendary. Excited to see more details as they develop. Moving over to NASCAR news, Haas factory team is switching manufacturers. That's right, they're ditching Ford and heading back to Chevrolet in 2026. That's just the start of the story. What's changing with that? Well, starting next season, they'll run Chevrolet cars in both NASCAR Cup Series and the newly rebranded O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, formerly the Xfinity Series. In the latter series there, they're teaming up with Hendrick Motorsports for a technical alliance, meaning they'll be running Hendrick-built engines. They'll have chassis support and access to all the elite tech that Hendrick has. Gene Haas is no stranger to Chevy. He's been associated with Chevrolet since 2002 with Haas CNC Racing and later through Stewart Haas Racing, where he campaigned Chevrolets until switching to Ford in 2017. This is more like a homecoming than anything for them. Joe Custer, the Haas president, started with some gratitude to Ford for helping launch the team, but made a clear focus now on the future of success with Chevrolet. Gene Haas reflected on his longtime relationship with Chevrolet and Hendrick. Both helped grow his presence in NASCAR and build the team's engineering foundation. Rick Hendrick called the move almost like a homecoming, referencing Haas's early support via Haas CNC machines. He's excited to work together again. So the driver lineup stays intact. Cole Custer in the Cup Series and Sheldon Creed, Sam Mayer in the O'Reilly Series, formerly known as Xfinity. That's going to be a tough one to switch over after all these years. Ford loses a factory team, which is not ideal for them in the title fight, and Chevrolet gains some deep depth through a top-tier alliance with Hendrick. With Hendrick's infrastructure, superior chassis prep, simulation data, and aero development, Haas can close some serious gaps that we've seen them have as of late. So that'll be exciting. We'll see this all happen rolling out on February 14th, 2026, with the opener for Creed and Mayer as they roll Chevrolets out to the season opener in Daytona. So get ready for that. Moving over to Sprint Car, this weekend we had a major shakeup in the world of outlaws. Sheldon Haudenschild has just announced he'll be parting ways with Stenhouse Jr. Marshall Racing at the end of the 2025 season. So let's unpack this just a little bit and what it could mean for both him and the team. In a heartfelt social media post, Sheldon Haudenschild thanks Ricky, Richard, and the entire team for the unforgettable chapter, saying driving the number 17 has been an incredible chapter in my career. I'll always value my time with this team. His departure will come alongside longtime crew chief Kyle Ripper as they look ahead for new opportunities in 2026. Sheldon joined SJM Racing in 2017, fresh off a Sprint Car Rookie of the Year award. Over 8 seasons with the team, he's racked up more than 40 wins, perched himself among the top drivers in series history, never finished outside the top 7 in the point standings. The team chimed in themselves, saying they're immensely proud of what they've achieved with Sheldon and Kyle. They still have more battles ahead this season. This year's season shows Haudenschild still in fighting shape, hitting 5th in the points, 2 feature wins at Tri-State in April and Red River Valley in May, and stacking up 22 top 5s and 34 top 10s to date. With 20 races still left, including a signature Buckeye Brawl on September 26th, he's not slowing down anytime soon. The team heads to the West Coast swing next with momentum to finish strong. For Sheldon, it's time to chart his own path with Kyle Ripper in his corner and hints at launching a new program and teaming up elsewhere. He's proven he's a consistent performer and a fan favorite. 2026 could get very interesting. For SJM Racing, they're not just losing a driver, but a winning chassis and data stream. Placing both Sheldon and Kyle will be a tall task as they recalibrate for next season. Change breeds energy, though, whether Sheldon builds something new and joins another contender team. Sprint car landscape feels like it's getting some fresh rivalries coming soon. Let's talk about some races from this last weekend. Strap in, we were at Formula One at Monza, brought every twist and turn you could ask for, record-breaking speed, team drama, title fight burning hotter than the asphalt. Winner for Monza on the flashback here, Max Verstappen, as he blasted back into victory lane with a dominant performance at Monza, securing his 3rd win of 2025 and honoring Toyota's Temple of Speed with authority. He also broke records as Monza hosted the fastest race in F1 history in 1 hour 13 minutes, an average speed of 250 kilometers. McLaren's duo remains one that this is going to be hard to beat. Oscar Piastri leads in the standings with teammate Lando Norris now just 31-point gap behind. Verstappen sits in 3rd closing, but still chasing. Second place in this one, we saw Max win it. Lando Norris got second, recovering quickly from a slow pit stop thanks to controversial team order that saw Piastri give the position back. The move drew boos from the fans, but Norris defended the strategy as fair. Piastri comes up third, visibly frustrated yet composed, taking the third spot and holding on to his championship lead, with team principal Andrea Stella promising a post-race strategy review. So Hamilton's Italian debut, despite no podium in his first weekend at Monza behind the wheel of a Ferrari, team principal Fred Vasseur expressed confidence that cooler results are ahead for Lewis this season. Monza's energy is clearly working their magic. The Monza weekend brought out the costumes, the celeb appearances, high fashion flair off the podium. Monza always delivers that extra dash of F1 soul. Monza reminded us why F1 is the ultimate blend of heart rate, speed, and team chess. Verstappen's flexing that dominance. McLaren's title battle took center stage, and Hamilton's Ferrari narrative promises chapters yet unwritten. Whether you bleed red or cheer for Red Bull, this championship has momentum, and Monza just poured a little bit of fuel over that fire. Let's kick it over to NASCAR. Let's start off with the Xfinity Series, while we still can call it that, as it's changing next year. The New Way 200 sauced by Blues Hog did not disappoint, as the regular season finale turned into another showcase of rookie domination and playoff fireworks. Winner Connor Zilisch, the 19-year-old sensation, continued his perfect tear with a fourth straight victory and his ninth win of the season, all while grabbing his first ever oval pole to win finish. So started first, ended first. A regular season championship, Zilisch also locked up that regular season championship, clinching 15 playoff points and cementing himself as the man to beat. Mind you, it's his rookie year. Just insane. Also, after that incident with that collarbone issue, so still getting it done. He led 121 of 160 laps, driving the chaos and restarts late in the race, including clearing a scrappy field behind him to secure the win. On the podium, we had William Sawalich, who pushed hard but came up just short again in second, and Christian Eckes rounding out the JR Motorsports dominated top three. Great weekend for Junior Motorsports as they dominated. With the field set, Harrison Burton squeaked into the playoff field on points, while Zilisch heads into the postseason with a commanding 59-point cushion. Let's be honest, he's going to get another win and you're in. So, yeah, it's his to lose at this point. Jumping over to Cup Series, the Enjoy Illinois 300 at Worldwide Technology Raceway roared to life with late race drama, playoff implications, and a trophy-winning statement from one of the Tour's grizzled vets. So let's break it all down. Winner, number 11, the man with the mouth on him lately, Denny Hamlin. He converted that pole position into his fifth win of the season and the 59th of his Cup Series career. He led the rest of the way and punched his ticket into the round of 12. That's also a 200th Cup win for Toyota, so an honor for him to do that. Top finishers, Chase Briscoe ran a clean line as Hamlin's teammate to finish second, making it a 1-2 JGR Toyota lockout. Chase Elliott grabbed third, his best result ever at Gateway, and scored a big points boost for Hendrick Motorsports there. Hamlin led 75 of the 240 laps after capturing a track record pole lap at 139.190 miles per hour. Toyota's first at Gateway. Powerhouse performance under the intense playoff pressure. So with Denny Hamlin continuing a dominant year, he now leads the playoff event leaders and drops that unforgettable line, "You can get on the bandwagon or get run over by it." Like I said, he's always got something great to say. Whether you like it or not, he's going to get some coverage, and it's awesome for his team and his sponsors. Over the first two playoff races, Toyota swept wins and stages, showcasing serious postseason strength. Yeah, just all the while, just strong performance there. Chase Elliott's third place finish means his playoff cushion just got a little bit healthier. The big losers of this race, Josh Berry crashed out after contact with Elliott, now sits in deep trouble. He needs to win to survive at this point. Kyle Larson spun Ryan Blaney in the late stage scrap, and while he's still alive in the playoffs, that move sparked some bad blood. Christopher Bell finished seventh. His post-race radio rant showed the frustration being surrounded by winning teammates and him struggling. Hamlin and Briscoe are the early favorites in the playoffs, 2 guaranteed transfers to the round of 2 with wins. Elliott's top 5 finishes are giving him some breathing room. Others like Berry are desperate for a turnaround. So Toyota's got the stranglehold early on the playoffs and raises the bar for what Ford and Chevy can do to double down on this. Let's go over to some dirt track stuff now. World of Outlaws this past weekend. A stop at Vado Speedway Park lit up the southwestern sand of sprint car mayhem and high stakes. So let's break it down. The Outlaws brought their national tour to Vado Speedway Park for the Desert Showdown, making one of the rare sprint car races under the desert moon. It was a gritty test of skill and survival. David Gravel, the 2024 Series champion, continued to dominate, solidifying his status as a perennial contender. Sheldon Haudenschild cracked the top 5 and turned heads with a blistering comeback effort. Respect to drivers who nailed the Southwest tech, handling the unique layout, the variable grip, and the nighttime temperature shifts. Took serious skill to tune those cars in. Expect rising players to continue their momentum, making their way to Bakersfield and Paris showdowns coming up this weekend. Big picture, Gravel's momentum. He's gunning to stay at the top, the title chase, heading into the final stretch of the season. Racing under track wear conditions like Veto's only amplifies his star power. Audenchild's charge reminds everyone not to sleep on his late season run, and his fans are definitely behind it. They're watching. And with high-speed ovals like Bakersfield and tight tracks like Paris on deck, we're heading into a mixed bag stretch that rewards versatility more than ever, which is going to be their strong suit. So from there, we go to the Kubota High Limit Series at Port Royal Speedway. The Tuscarora 50 weekend delivered from start to finish. Thursday night, Anthony Macri broke through in dramatic fashion. After 14 tries, he grabbed his first ever win in the High Limit Racing Series, leading the opening night A-Main, putting his name on the board in a big way. Friday night, just a few laps in from Eldora's broken leg mishap, Aaron Reitzel pulled off a Warriors return. He battled through the field and nursed 25-lap A-Main to earn the victory, foot injury and all. Saturday night, 19-year-old Ryan Timms starred with a commanding performance. He passed early leader Justin Peck with 16 laps to go, held on to win that historic 58th annual Tuscarora 50 at Port Royal. $58,000 payday for the rising talent. With Macri finally ticking off his first win and Timms making headlines at just 19 years old, fans are buzzing about the rising talent in the Sprint Car Racing Series over there at High Limit. After a serious injury cost him weeks, he's proven he's back and hungrier than ever with Rutzel's resilience there. These results shift momentum at the top. Rico Abreu still holds the points lead, but he now faces new challenges and the gaps are closing fast on him. Our final recap of the weekend, we had the USAC Series. Had plenty to cheer about this weekend if you're a USAC racing fan. Track records, marquee results, so let's break it down. Justin Grant etched his name into the records book, scoring third USAC National Sprint victory at the Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheeling, Missouri, moving past Dave Darland for the all-time title. 100 career win milestone. With this win, Grant now stands among the elite, joining legends like AJ Foyt and Brian Clausen with 100 USAC wins across all divisions. He dominated despite battling a broken foot, pushing him from fourth to the lead and closing strong across 30 laps. Series triumph for him. This leads us over to Tri-City. Briggs Danner at the Tri-City Speedway delivered a career-defining performance, bouncing back when it mattered with a last-lap push, turned opportunity into victory. And while we're talking about stuff, Gunnar Setzer blazed into history by setting a new 8-lap USAC track record at Lucas Oil Speedway, clocking 2.04 seconds and topping the record from 2006. So all kinds of good stuff over there at USAC. More we could dive into, but we'll keep it short on this one. But congrats to Grant and all the work he's put in with that team, and doing it all while injured is just insane to me. All right, let's dive into a little bit of history this week. We always love doing these. This week we're going to talk about one of the most overlooked trailblazers in motorsports history, Lella Lombardi. She's the only woman to ever score points in Formula One. That alone makes her very special, but let's talk about her story. It's even better. We're rolling back into 1970s Italy and beyond. Grazia Lella Lombardi was born in 1941 in a little Italian town called Frugarolo. Probably butchered that, much like her family that ran a butcher shop. But not exactly a pipeline in Formula One when you come from a family of butchers, but young Layla, she was obsessed with engines. She learned to drive by sneaking the family's delivery van around before she was even old enough for a license. Pretty soon she moved into karting and local hill climbs, basically whatever she could afford to race. And she wasn't just making up the numbers, she was very quick. Keep in mind, this is in the 1960s. Women weren't expected to be behind the wheel at the track unless they were posing with the trophy. Layla didn't care. She wrenched on her own cars, raced hard, and started climbing the ladder of success. By the early 1970s, Lombardi was running Formula Monza and Formula 3 in Italy, and that's some serious training ground back in the day. She was tough, fearless, and absolutely willing to shove elbows with the guys, and the results got her noticed. In 1974, she tried to break into Formula One with Brabham, but she didn't qualify at the British Grand Prix. Most drivers would have been crushed by that. She wasn't. She kept pushing, and in 1975, her persistence paid off. She landed a seat with March Engineering, a small privateer team, and suddenly Lella Lombardi was on the Formula One grid. So let's talk about her Formula One career. Let's be clear, March was never a front runner for a team. They were scrappy, underfunded, usually fighting at the back of the pack, but just being there was an accomplishment in itself. Out of thousands of drivers worldwide, only 20 or so get the Formula One seat at any given time, and she had made it. And then came the 1975 Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. It's famous for the wrong reasons. A crash killed 5 spectators, and the race was cut short after 29 laps. But for Lombardi, it was career-defining. She was in 6th place when the red flag came out. Normally 6th place earns 1 championship point, but because the race didn't run the full distance, only half points were awarded. So Lombardi got 0.5 points, so a half a point, which doesn't sound like much, but it was history. The first and still the only woman to score a Formula One championship point. Lella raced 17 Grand Prix between 1974 and 1976. She didn't have the machinery to fight for wins or podiums, but she proved she belonged. When F1 opportunities dried up, she didn't stop. She turned to sports cars and endurance racing, Le Mans, Daytona long distance classics. She wasn't just making appearances in 1979. She won the 6 hours of Valhalla outright. That's no small feat right there. So what's Lella Lombardi's legacy? That half point. On paper, it looks tiny, but symbolically, it's massive. It's proof that a woman could step into the world's toughest racing series and earn some results. She passed away in 1992 from cancer, unfortunately, far too young, but every conversation about women in motorsports circles back to her, whether it's the W Series, Formula One Academy, or drivers like Jamie Chadwick aiming for Formula One. Lella Lombardi is the reference point. She showed up, she raced hard, and she left a mark that no one's erased. Lombardi contested Formula One from 1974 to 1976 with those 17 Grand Prix races. A shot at Brabham in 1974 that she did not qualify for really lit that fire underneath her. Let's talk about her 1975 season real quick because that was the real earner. She qualified in South Africa, though she retired early due to fuel system issue on the car there. At the Spanish Grand Prix where she got that half point, becoming the first woman to score the Formula One point. Also impressive, she finished 7th at the German Grand Prix despite a puncture, praised by March co-founder Robin Hurd as her best drive. Other results that year, she had a DNQ in Monaco, 14th in the Netherlands, 18th in France, 17th in Austria, retirements in Belgium and Britain, and a DNS at the U.S. Grand Prix. Her 1976 season, she started the Brazilian Grand Prix, finishing 14th. Later that season, she had a stint with Ram Racing. Best result was 12th at the Austrian Grand Prix. Yeah, she didn't vanish after F1. We talked about that and her sports car stuff. She ran a total of 162 events between 1970 and 1988. 95 finishes, 56 retirements, 3 overall wins, 16 podiums, 6 poles, just all kinds of good stuff. However, it didn't just stop there. In 1977, Lombardi joined 3 women in the Firecracker 400 at Daytona, a rare crossover of F1 and NASCAR history. She didn't score, but she made history as the only driver to ever have a career total of less than 1 point in F1, and the only one to do both F1 and NASCAR. So, yeah, her half of an F1 point may not seem like much. It may seem small, but it's colossal as a symbol and remains unmatched by women in Formula One to this day. She was podium. She was winning in endurance racing. She really did well in the sports cars. She had a brief love for NASCAR there, willing to jump into a total different racing world. Just crazy. So that's the racing dossier of Lella Lombardi, Formula One groundbreaker, endurance racer, and Daytona daredevil. She may not have a trophy wall stacked with wins, but she built a legacy on grit, skill, and barrier-breaking boldness. With every race she started, she just got it done. So we thank her for her time in motorsports and all that she has done. That'll wrap it up for us today. As always, if you like this episode, please like, share, subscribe, send it to a fellow motorsports fan. And until we catch you next time, stay safe, and thanks for tuning in.